Sunday will be Nakamura Day.
Charlie, oh, Wilson, wait. Charlie, oh, Wilson, wait. Charlie, oh, Wilson, wait. So you challenge Charlotte to a match?
Ladies and gentlemen, get ready for Talkamania.
It's Rusev Day. I'm not finished with you! That, my friend, is gonna leave a mark.
I love black eyes.
Where are you, Dango?
All before you were wearing a training bra.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to another week of Talkamania. I'm your host, Desmino, with my lover from another mother, who's also my tag team brother, J-Bone. Say hello, J-Bone.
Hey man, how's it going?
Dude, that was a good one.
That was a good one, I'm not gonna lie. I was pretty
I was on the
impressed.
spot too. I didn't sit down, I didn't write them up. I need to do that soon, but
You didn't write that up? I was
No,
like,
no.
as soon as you were saying it, I was like, for sure he came up with this based on what we talked about last week.
I came
so.
up with it during the intro, more or less. But yeah, I
Well
do need
done.
I do need to be a bit more original. That was my idea this week. I hope I fulfilled that. But yeah, so I'm glad to be here. Glad to be here with you as always. How are
Hell
things
yeah.
going?
Not too bad, man. We had a pretty great weekend, did we not?
We did. For those of you who followed our last podcast, past weekend, we went to IWS in Montreal, and Rob Van Dam was in the main event. It was a good card all around, regardless, but good show, big turnout. For those of you who aren't familiar with the IWS, it's a big wrestling affiliate in Montreal, and it has signed a giant deal with RDS, which is a local French sports broadcasting company. And so now they have a bit of a budget. So they're going out and they're getting some cool talent to come. Tyler Bates, Pete Dunne are going to be there in the near future. So it's worth checking out. Cool matches. And I had a great time. And it was cool to see RVD.
It was awesome to see RVD. Looking back, I wish we would have done the meet and greet. We should have done the meet and greet.
Yeah, he probably would have been baked out of his mind. Like, hey guys, what's up? Because, I mean, I don't know. He came out of the ring. He looked pretty baked out of his mind.
He looked super baked. Super baked.
I just imagine them being like, so, you come to Montreal, you can come here, you can smoke tons of weed, we got good shit over here, and you got to do a wrestling match, and, go home after. He's like, okay, sure, man, what's up? Okay. Yeah.
It was awesome, though. I mean, he landed all the big spots that we saw, like, from his WWE days and ECW days, and he got the crowd behind him really well, and it was fun to see him, throw all those moves in the ring, and, like, literally we were, maybe 5 human beings away from him?
Yeah, no, he was really close to us, and yeah, it was really cool to see. It's funny because RVD was always fast in the ring, and people had to keep up with him, but he was in the ring with some younger guys this time around,
Yeah.
and it kind of looked like he had a little bit of a hard time keeping up. Not a hard time, but, he's definitely not RVD of his prime, but great match. It was really cool to see. I would have loved to see them book it a bit differently. I know we're talking about the IWS here, but since they do have the budget now, I would have had RVD win the title, and that way, they only have a show, once every few months. They could have him hang on to it and then defend it, have people come to the next show, because the turnout was huge. So have him hold the title to the next event, and then have him drop it, and then RVD can kind of hold the title for, a month or two. It would have been good for the franchise.
That would have been cool, for sure.
Yeah.
But considering RVD's 47, and he smoked weed his whole life, and I'm sure he's partied as well. It was pretty impressive. I mean, the frog splash was awesome. I was a little bit worried because the roof was so low. And usually he gets, a crazy pop of height when he does it. So he was careful. He was good. He looked like he had a good time. It was just awesome to get together, man. It's been a while since we've seen each other. So drinking beers, watching wrestling. It was pretty fun.
Yeah, it was pretty cool. He liked my tweet, too. I tweeted out to him. I was helping the
Montreal.
Health of Montreal was treating him well. And then he liked the herbs that we had here, smoking the Montreal peace pipe. And I guess he did. And it's good to see good old RVD. So, yeah, next time we will definitely have to do that meet and greet.
I literally got all of the big moments in the match on camera. I got Rolling Thunder. I got the frog splash. I got the both times he taunted with the RVD with the thumbs in. What else happened? Van Terminator? Did he do it? Or Van Damme, or I never remember which one's which, anyways.
No, he didn't hit that spot. I guess the ring's a little bit... Well, I guess it would actually work to his advantage because he wouldn't have to go as far. The ring's a bit smaller, but, I think also with the space outside the ring. But, he did hit the big spots. I'm not disappointed in the match. There's some other good matches, too. Tabarnak, the team, was pretty
that was
cool,
awesome.
too. They're a cool
They're
team that
huge.
was on TNA at some point, but just worth checking them out. Hugely over with the Montreal crowd. Obviously, French-Canadians. But, yeah.
Tabernacle team, yeah. I started watching a couple of YouTube videos on them. They're growing.
Were they still called Tabernacle Team in TNA?
I think they were, but they were kind of calling them TDT.
Okay.
So, because I don't think anybody's gonna understand Tabernacle team. But whenever they do English interviews, they're they try and teach the person giving the interview how to say tabernacle with a French accent, roll that R, tabarnak. You know what I mean? They seem like pretty cool guys. I mean, I don't know if we'll ever see them on the big stage, but I'm sure I could see them in Ring of Honor and stuff like that eventually.
If the WWE did a giant scale tag team tournament, kind of like they did with the women, the cruiserweights, I'm pretty sure they could they could be invited to that.
They're definitely ahead of the rest of the pack. For wrestling and the way they compose themselves in the ring, they were freaking awesome.
Yeah. And so that was our escapade this weekend. The next show we have coming up, it was a really neat surprise this week. Logging on to see that the WWE will be back in Montreal. They've been left out for quite some time. You see these shows in Toronto and Ontario and everywhere. And, well, Toronto is Ontario. I guess I failed that geography lesson. But they're around in various places in Ontario. And not in Quebec or Montreal. But we just found out this week that the end of April and beginning of May, they'll be doing back-to-back shows. Raw Live and SmackDown Live will be coming to Montreal. And you know who's going to be there? Talkamania.
That's right. Tickets go on sale Friday, you said?
Tickets go on sale Friday, so we're going to jump on that horse. Right now we're planning to go to at least Raw. Obviously, for us, that's the big show. We thought about it. 3 hours, and, more happens on that show these days. Ronda Rousey will be there. I'm hoping there's a superstar shakeup and AJ Styles makes his way onto Raw. KO as well. It's going to be really cool to see KO and Sami Zayn and how they kind of are used while they're in Montreal as well at the same time.
Yeah, it'll be interesting for sure.
Cool.
I'm stoked though.
Yeah, me too. I am very stoked. So we'll keep you updated when we get those tickets. We'll let you know. We'll be representing Talkamania. We'll be supplying all kinds of news, media, videos. It's going to be fun. You're going to be there with us. Awesome. So before we get into WWE news and Raw, SmackDown, and everything going on in the scenes, make sure to follow us at _Talkamania. Make sure to listen to us on iTunes and now also on YouTube.
Yeah, we're back.
We're back on YouTube.
Yes, we found a way to get our content onto YouTube without having to take 45 minutes to make it. So we're back, baby. We're back.
Cool. Yeah, I love getting ourselves out there, so that's fantastic. And if you haven't listened to Justin Roberge, get on that as well, too. Independent Thoughts, loving it. I like what this guy brings to the team. Check it out. If you're not, you're missing quite a bit, so get on it.
Let's do it.
Cool. All right, so I'm going to start off this week. We're going to go a little bit off format. We're going to do a little bit of shooting the shit this week. Before we get into it, just want to go over a few news topics that I heard this week. See what you think, J-Bomb, and let me know, your opinion on things, and we'll shoot the shit.
Right on.
All right. So this past week, or not this past week, I think it was last weekend or the week before, we had Brock Lesnar was facing off against Kane on a live event and squashed Kane in a matter of, I think, 47 seconds or something ridiculous. So, offhand fans are pretty upset and sour about this because Brock Lesnar, who didn't show up to Raw, goes on to fight Kane that weekend and squashes him immediately. And I don't know, I think a lot of fans felt gypped because here's your champion and he's phoning it in each time, more or less, figuratively. And what do you think about that? What do you think about the champion, the one holding the title, Brock Lesnar with a special contract, coming out, putting on a match like that?
Well, I think it's so... Is it a coincidence that this is now starting to bug everybody or starting to bug other wrestlers on the roster? It seems like it's convenient that... It just seems like a way of putting Roman Reigns over now, but I'm okay with that. And I think it could work. all year long Brock was doing this, and Roman mentions it on Raw, and now it kind of seems to be like a topic of discussion for everybody. It's like he brought it back to the surface. I get that, but I don't know. I mean, I don't like it, obviously. I mean, Brock Lesnar not being on Raw, the Universal Championship not being on Raw on a weekly basis is annoying. I'm not surprised about WWE Chicago where he beat Kane. I feel like it's like that was publicized like WWE, like, because like the footage of it is perfect. It doesn't even look like it's from a cell phone. You know what I mean? It's just like, are they putting it out there? Is this WWE's way of putting Roman Reigns over? And if it is, this is a great way of doing it.
Well, I think it's the only way of doing it almost, because like to me, I was looking at it like, this is garbage. You know, this guy comes in, he does this, he goes, collects his paycheck, and leaves. Like, it's shitting on the title more than anything, and the history of the title. So people are really upset. The WWE says, oh, well, not the WWE exactly, but, you know, Dave Meltzer and, sorry, I don't want to quote it, he didn't say per se, but I believe I picked it up off of him, is that they're looking to turn Roman Reigns into a babyface, and they're trying to find a way to do it. And this, you know, it's a bit kind of creative in a sense of a way to do it. But, I don't know, when I look at the big picture, it almost looked like people were upset, complaining, and the WWE was like, oh shit, you know, they're not happy. Oh, let's use this as a platform.
Oh, yeah.
And say, oh, yeah, well, what we were trying to do is turn him, like, I don't know if they're using that as an excuse or a scapegoat, but it was very strange that Brock also didn't show up the week before, so maybe they pulled the trigger that week and said, hey, let's make him be a real, not credible champion, not,
they're
champion of the people.
They're making Roman Reigns, like, the voice of the people, right? They're making him kind of, he's airing his frustrations that the fans share with him. This is his way to relate to the fans. So I think it's pretty good. Like,
so you think it's a work, basically?
I don't think Brock Lesnar not being on Raw was a work. I think he was legitimately not on Raw, and they're making the best of it. And that promo really went over well. And I just think that that's the story that they're going to go forward with. That Roman's going to call Brock a bitch. I mean, how many times do they call each other him and Heyman there? How many times? Everything was a bitch this week on Raw. But this is the way to get Roman over, and this is the way to get Roman as the voice of the fans, showing the frustration, not accepting that Brock Lesnar's not there every week, and I'm cool with that. I honestly, is there a better story leading to WrestleMania than this one?
Yes.
I mean, Ronda Rousey's pretty good, I'll give it that, but really, apart from that, what is there?
I don't know. I'm interested to see what's going on with the IC title. At least your champion's there.
I'm interested to see it, but as a
Asuka going for the title, and whose title? If it would be Asuka versus Charlotte, definitely on board with that. More
we don't even know which one it is yet. That's the thing. We don't know what it is.
Come on.
We don't know.
I think we do. It hasn't been revealed, but I think we all know. Especially with the segment that went on with Nia Jax and Alexa Bliss this week, which we will get to.
Yeah.
A few other pieces of news. Jonathan Coachman, who just recently rejoined the WWE in a commentary aspect, is being accused of, I guess being a pig. You know, basically.
Oh, really? Sexual misconduct on him?
Yeah, sexual misconduct with ESPN. They kind of think that's why he got dismissed, or that's why he left ESPN, to kind of be like a hush, just get out the back door and things will be fine. Now women are coming forward and complaining, or I think one woman in particular. But I'm not sure. I mean, for this one, I'm kind of listening to Jonathan Coachman, listening to people at ESPN. Apparently this girl, doesn't have the best reputation. It also seems like, Jonathan Coachman is very, adamant in saying that, in all his career, he hasn't really been close to any of his co-workers. So we'll see where it falls. You got to kind of hear out both parties. But, WWE takes this really seriously. So I'm sure McMahon's kind of like, there's always these news coming out. I guess picture McMahon being like, oh, another one? Why can't you guys keep it in your pants?
Well, he might have kept it in his pants. It might be bullshit, right? But yeah.
Yeah, exactly. It could be bullshit, yeah. But
I
as we saw with Enzo, Rich Swann, I mean, obviously they take this very seriously. So we will see what happens.
Jonathan Coachman, I won't miss him if he leaves. He doesn't do much for me anyways. I mean, I'll take him over Booker T, but
I was never a huge Coachman fan either. So
he's just lame. His voice is lame, and I don't know, he's weak sauce, so doesn't do it for me.
All right. Another thing that I saw today, actually, recently, well, today, like I said, was a prototype of a new championship coming to the WWE.
Oh, you clicked on that? I didn't click on that.
I did click on it because I'm all for ruining things for myself. But So, spoiler alert. Spoiler alert. We should get a siren.
We
Or
should.
something.
We should. We
Spoiler
should.
alert for sure. And so there will be new, I guess, 205 Live Cruiserweight Tag Team titles introduced after WrestleMania. The prototype came out. They look decent, as long as they're not purple.
Oh,
which
yeah,
they
I was
probably
gonna
will
ask.
be. But that's cool. So a lot more to do with Cruiserweights. Seeing some tag team finishers in the 205 Live division. I'm excited about that. I know there's also rumors about bringing in the tag team titles for the women's division. That would be cool too.
That'd be awesome. Yeah.
Give these women more segments. It might be tough on SmackDown because it's hard to fit people in as is. But for Raw, it's definitely going to work well. So I'm all for that. But new titles coming to you, folks.
Yeah.
Exciting. And one last piece of news that I heard. So lots of speculation. Where's John Cena going? What's happening at WrestleMania? People think he's going to fight The Undertaker. People think he's going to fight Rey Mysterio. Well, recently this week, Rey Mysterio suffered a bicep injury. So a potential torn ligament in his arm. So,
Bicep.
Yep. The status is up in the air. We don't know what's going to happen. It might be a partial tear. He might be okay for WrestleMania. But he has been around, and we'll see, because it might throw a wrench in the plans for John Cena.
I hope it does.
Don't you hate, though? Like, this week John Cena comes out, and he's like, that amazing dream match between AJ and Nakamura. I want to be in it. And it's like, are you kidding me, dude? Do not friggin' ruin this for us. Do not ruin this for us.
I don't know if the WWE is either going to keep teasing that match being ruined, or that match is a teaser and they are going to ruin it. There's
Maybe,
a part of me
yeah,
that's
knowing the
really,
WWE is
really worried
possible.
about Fastlane. There's a big part of me. It's getting bigger and bigger and bigger as we approach it. That if they, really hope they don't fuck this up.
No, absolutely, me too. And then when he's kind of interjecting himself, you hear the fans even being like, no, man, no, don't do this.
Was he on SmackDown this week?
He was on Raw. I do not believe he was on SmackDown.
Okay, so the guy's just jumping wherever the hell is convenient for him for travel reasons. Sounds like I think Roman would call him a little bitch.
Yeah, well, I wouldn't deny him, or I wouldn't disagree with him. Sorry.
Yeah.
But it's funny because they had like the Fatal 5-Way match: AJ Styles, Baron Corbin, Ziggler, Owens, and Sami Zayn on SmackDown, and John Cena wasn't even in it. So it's kind of ridiculous.
Yeah, having that match was a bit ridiculous too.
I think it was cool. I think actually I disagree. I
Really?
think having that match on SmackDown, almost having like the match before the match, because then you have like a winner, but it's like, oh, he just won that match, so he can do it again. But it's not going to be the same winner. Obviously, it won't be Sami Zayn.
Yeah, guaranteed it's not Sami now.
No, for sure. I mean, it wasn't going to be anyways. I honestly, we know it's going to be AJ Styles. He's going to walk out with the title. So
I think that they could have accomplished the exact same thing with having a triple threat match with Sami and Kevin in it, and it could have been one of the other guys from the Fatals or the Six Pack, or it could have even been somebody else from the roster.
I like the 5-Way challenge.
I didn't like
like
the
it.
match. I loved that hell of a kick at the
Oh
end.
yeah, where it came out of nowhere at the end and smacked him, knocked him out, and the look on his face afterwards. Oh yeah,
He smoked him.
Yeah, it was great.
Yeah, he was really good.
Really good. All right, so that's one more piece of news. Actually, I was just reading as well too. Last one, sorry folks. So Rey Mysterio, he's back, or he's coming back, or he may be WrestleMania. I'm reading news now that there's a possibility that Alberto Del Rio may be back to WWE, which is ridiculous because he keeps leaving on shitty terms. He comes in, he signs a contract that guarantees him a title run, or I guess that's what it seems like. He has a title, and as soon as he drops the title, they don't have much for him to do. He gets angry and then leaves and breaks his contract. So it's same thing all the time. Why would they bring him back after all the crap he caused for Paige? Does he really want him to be around Paige again? Now,
I think that's why. I think that's what they
maybe
want.
Maybe they're looking for a reason to let her go, right?
Well,
the tattoo isn't enough reason.
look, I read. I hate Alberto. I hate him. As a wrestler, boring. Storyteller, boring.
Yeah, he's terribly boring.
I don't really like him as a person either. When I read that bit of news, I was really excited, and I hope he comes back just because I want to see that initial fan reaction, and I want to see if they do anything with Paige and him.
A feud with Xavier Woods and Del Rio.
Oh man.
That could be fun.
Oh boy.
All right, so let's jump into Raw and SmackDown. Lots going on today, folks. We're not going to go through everything that's been happening, but more than noteworthy kind of things that we saw this week that might have been worth talking about. So there'll be more for Raw than SmackDown, just because I feel like there wasn't as much to talk about on SmackDown.
SmackDown sucks.
It's been too great these days.
Yeah, it's pretty bad.
So Raw opens up. Ronda Rousey. You were saying yourself that you were surprised that was the opening segment. I actually thought that was going to be the opening segment, so I made sure to tune in.
I thought it was going to be the opening segment the week before, so I tuned in, watched 3 hours to see 6 minutes of Ronda at the end, and then this week I said, you know what, I'm going to tune in at 10. I tuned in early at 9, and I'd still missed it. And before we get going on this, I just want to notice if you noticed this. You know how they used to like show clips from pay-per-views, like let's say it's Sunday and then it's the next day on Monday, and they just show still images because you haven't subscribed to the WWE network, so they don't want to give away content for free.
Right? Yeah.
Why are they doing that with Raw and SmackDown now? Did you notice that? They're like last week on SmackDown, and they used to show the actual clip, and now they're just showing still frames, and it's driving me crazy because I'm like, you know, I subscribe to those channels anyways. Let me see the content. But anyways, getting back, Ronda Rousey, go ahead. Sorry.
So I guess I wanted to ask you straight up, like, what did you think of the segment, and how do you think Ronda Rousey's doing so far?
I'm gonna give her, I'm gonna give her an A, man.
Yeah, an A, right? Okay.
An A. I mean, it's as good. It's better than I was expecting from her.
It's better in some regards. I mean, I think she needs to stop smiling. Every time she's kind of like angry, I'm like, yeah, fuck some shut up. And she looks like she's gonna, you know, kick ass. But I don't know. Like when she starts talking, she starts laughing, and she smiles. But I mean, she has to get over that hump. She has to learn how to do promos.
That's
Obviously,
what I mean,
it's not her forte. But you know, the segment was kind of a bit, a bit of an interesting start. But I was actually overall happy with it. I thought it was pretty cool.
That was good,
yeah, Triple H coming down, Angle calling him out. It was done a lot more organized this time. And then when she grabbed Stephanie by the hair and pulled her into the ring, and I've never seen the crowd pop for a Samoan drop like they did, but it was a brutal one,
she almost
too.
broke her, man.
Yeah,
I looked like she was going to break her arm.
I thought she was going to do the FU, or the attitude adjustment, and I was like, oh my gosh, she better not take this as her move. I'd be super salty.
You thought attitude? I thought F5.
Well, the way she had her held, and she was going to kind of flip her over, but so she kind of had her held like the FU, but or the attitude adjustment.
Now, sorry, go ahead.
I was just saying that, like, I thought she was going to do that move, laid her out with the Samoan drop, and it was pretty nasty. I liked it. I enjoy her segments.
I think the fun thing about Ronda is that she's going to be rough in the ring. And it's cool to see her as her first opponent being Stephanie, who's not somebody who usually takes bumps. It's going to look extra stiff, which is going to be exciting. But I don't know. I can't tell if she went to do like Ronda Rousey's maybe finishing move and she totally botched it and turned it into a Samoan drop, because it did look like she was going to throw her up one way or throw her up the other way, and then she just kind of like threw her up both ways and fell backwards. Like it was an awkward looking fall. It looked like it fucking hurt.
It did look like it hurt, but at the same
Yeah.
time, you know, she's new at doing a lot of these moves, so having to hold them, placement of your hands and whatnot.
But
I
a
think
Samoan drop. Like,
probably
out
what
of-
they were going for, though. I mean, what's Stephanie going to take? You know, they're not going to give her
a
like
suplex. I thought she was good. Out of every move there is in the book, Ronda Rousey doing a Samoan drop is like, it made me go, what? Like,
well, it's like hold her up on your shoulders, just fall backwards. You know, it's easy. That way, you can't really mess it up in theory.
I mean, she's not Samoan.
She's tight though, man. Like she's like cut now. Like she lost.
Who,
She's
Ronda?
very thin. Yeah, yeah. She's looking alright.
Well, I mean, when we were seeing her before, you got to consider that when they get like fight ready, like they got to bulk up, right, between fights, so, and then they cut down at fights. So that's pretty unhealthy to do. So I know that they like a lot of UFC fighters when they're not in fight, like if they're not in fight mode or are training for a fight, they do walk around a little bit chunkier. So I think that's what we've been used to seeing with Ronda. But I don't know, she looks good to me, man.
Yeah, she's
I'm
looking
like,
good.
I hated that girl before she debuted. So I'm really happy with everything.
Cool. Another women's segment this week. We saw Asuka take on Nia Jax once again. I was excited for this match. They've had some great matches, but again, the crowd was weird this week. I found they were kind of like not into matches, but into certain things sometimes. And the match started off no crowd reaction. It was a bit slow. It was a bit sloppy to start, but the match ended up picking up, being really good, and Asuka eventually fighting off Nia Jax and forcing Nia Jax to tap out, getting that big win over Nia Jax finally. It wasn't stopped, no DQ, no nothing. Asuka was your winner. Now Nia Jax is a bit broken. Her WrestleMania moment, or her WrestleMania is not going to happen. She was sad, she was tearing. Really sold the arm. went backstage, really sold a segment with Alexa Bliss, where Alexa's obviously talking down to her and saying you failed and making her feel bad. You know, we know where this is going, but she cried. She did good, man. I found Nia Jax really sold this segment well. The only thing that bothered me was that ice pack.
The ice
I
pack.
have surround sound, and it was like crinkle, 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 crinkle.
It was loud. I
crinkle.
was like, I thought it was her outfit at first. I was like, shit, that's some thick like leather or whatever you got going. Then I realized it was the ice pack. But I agree, man. She brought the tears, and they both did a pretty good job on that promo. And
well, it was a typical Alexa Bliss promo, right? But it kind of feels like that's all she does now, those promos, and I want to see more from her character. But it was good. It did its point. I think Nia Jax was like instantly turned into a face, and that's definitely the way she's going now.
Yeah.
And again, you know, it's pretty no-brainer that they're going to be doing Alexa Bliss versus Nia Jax at WrestleMania. So, to the point that was spoken earlier, we know who Asuka's going against. She hasn't said yet. It will be against the SmackDown Women's Champion.
We'll see. But the Twitter response to the Nia Alexa was like negative. I found like at least on my timeline, saying like Nia should have been booked like Braun, and I'm thinking like she kind of was booked like Braun at first anyway, so she kind of had that like unstoppable force thing going for a while. It's nice to see them using her. Just nice to see them not doing the obvious with her. You know, have a sensitive side, and she's kind of funny too. And I agree. It's going to be Bliss and Nia at WrestleMania. But I really liked it. I feel like it was the true beginning to the feud. And like,
yeah, and Nia's going to win a championship at WrestleMania. She'll get her WrestleMania moment, and then she can tell her cousin all about it.
Yeah, I don't know how happy I'm going to be about that, but winning and losing aside, Bliss and Nia at WrestleMania could be cool.
Oh, I just hope it's on a squash match, because it just seems to me like it's going to be a squash. Like, what can Alexa Bliss do?
Maybe she'll do some gymnastics, backflip out of the way. I don't know. Maybe they'll make it a stipulation, and then it'll be like a ladder.
Well, if she run around and be a coward, it'd be fun. As long as they make the match like a decent match and not just like an instant squash. So, I mean, if she was going to fight Asuka, I would imagine it would be a pretty quick squash as well, too. So,
yeah, that's true. Charlotte Asuka, eh? That would be fun.
It's not necessarily what I said. I said she'd be facing the SmackDown Women's Champion.
Oh yeah, so I guess we'll see about that.
But I mean, right now it is with Charlotte. And the reason why I say that is, you know, we know Charlotte's facing off against Ruby Riott this Sunday, and obviously Charlotte's going to win. For some reason, in the back of my mind, I'm thinking that they might beat the crap out of her after the match. Carmella might come down and cash in that briefcase, and then would it be Asuka versus Carmella at WrestleMania? Which would make a lot of people very angry.
I'd be extremely angry.
But if you're trying to think, like, when is Carmella going to cash in? Because she has to do it soon. If she can do it at WrestleMania after Asuka wins and then just get her ass kicked, it'd be hilarious. I think that'd be funny. If she runs down, cashes in, and gets destroyed by Asuka, and then that's it. But at the same time, like, maybe the Riot Squad's going to beat up Charlotte like they've done before. Carmella comes out, cashes in, and then she goes on to fight WrestleMania and loses against Asuka. That way Charlotte doesn't have to lose it WrestleMania, but it seems like everybody wants that, you know, Asuka Charlotte match, like me too. I'm just trying to think of the possible scenarios that are going to be happening here, because and if you didn't see on SmackDown, now there's that tag team match between we have like Naomi and Becky versus Natalya and Carmella. Why did they put that in the card out of nowhere? That seems a bit strange. So it seems like they're putting Carmella on the card to throw your attention elsewhere. So
maybe, because that match is useless, and it's like another one of those horrible builds for a pay-per-view. I mean,
it is, but I will say, and I know the promo was super cheesy between Natalya and Naomi, and I hate cheese, but I thought the promo between Naomi and Natalya was fantastic. I really liked it. I thought
what?
The way
you liked the cheesiness?
I don't like cheesiness, but I thought what it was supposed to do was perfect. Naomi stayed strong. She gave really good looks, and you know, Natalya is very Natalya, and she tries to be, you know, pompous and a princess, and she gives those looks, and you know, I like her smile, and I just thought the back and forth was cheesy, but I mean, I liked it. I really liked the promo. I don't know why. I did. I liked the promo.
It's fun. You know what? I didn't
better
hate
than the
it.
promos they've been putting out from WWE.com with all that Sesame Street text across the screen.
Oh, for sure.
I've had it with that. It's ridiculous. Who thinks this is a good idea? I don't understand.
You know what? It's not a bad idea if it's like on a commercial.
Well,
Is that how they're
kids
doing it?
words? Is that the point? Like, you want to teach kids spelling and certain words, like, and it's emphasizing certain words. Like,
I think it's like emphasizing like their catchphrases, like "get these hands" and
yeah.
The glow penitentiary or glowing penitentiary. What the hell is that?
I don't know.
I don't like when they splice two people's mottos together. It drives me crazy.
No, do not like that either.
But the Naomi, Natalia, stumbling promo was very porny.
Horny?
Like the way that they act, they're like porn stars. I'm like,
Yeah, it was definitely like, I get what you're saying. I don't know.
Yeah.
It works with Natalia because Natalia, that's how she is all the time.
yeah,
So I thought like for them it was a good. I don't know. I liked it. I thought it was a good promo. I wasn't gonna. I don't know.
yeah. Lana told her to take acting lessons on Total Divas.
Maybe that. Oh really?
Yeah, well, because Natty
Well,
told
yeah,
her to
Lana,
take
I
wrestling
think,
lessons.
needs to take. Funny because Lana was an actress too. So
Yeah, well, because Natty said that like you can't wrestle, and
Lana's like you can't act.
Lana was like you can't act, and Natty had a shit fit. Like pretty much like 4 episodes in a row was like Natty like crying about that comment.
Yeah. She's not a terrible actress, but yeah, she's very much like what you saw in the promo is how she acts, right? So
Yeah, and it's crazy because like she's really good on Divas.
yeah, well, that's
So
acting
it's-
too, right? So
It's acting. It's bullshit. That's 100% it's bullshit. So
one thing I want to talk about that came out of Raw, which I thought was really left field, was Cena came out, he gave his promo, and he was interrupted by all people of Goldust. So to me, I was like, what? Why would Goldust? Like you could have anybody in the roster come out and interrupt this guy, and it's Goldust. So obviously, what are they doing here? So I was really intrigued. I was wondering what they're going to do, and Goldust came out, and he's like, I want my moment. I've had the career I haven't had. He hasn't had a championship, and Goldust. I think deserves it to some degree, but sometimes you don't want to just give somebody something because they've been around a long time. But I wanted to see something cool happen here. And it just went on to be a regular squash match, and then that's it. Like I would like to have seen him come out with maybe Mandy Rose, and that'd be his new, manager, and he'd be a bit darker again. But no, he kind of just came out and left me wanting more, but then left me with nothing in the end. So I was disappointed with the outcome of it, just having this be a jobber match in the end. I thought, wow, this is a left field. This is unpredictable. WWE surprising me, but then they let me down.
imagine if they were like, shit, Rey Mysterio is injured. Put Goldust out there with Mandy Rose, like you said, because I agree the two of them are awesome together. Have Goldust low blow John Cena while being distracted by Mandy Rose. Get a 3 count. And I would be super down for Goldust and Cena at WrestleMania. Don't care what anybody says. It'd be all, if Rey Mysterio
do
was
the
out.
the Hollywood parking lot brawl, whatever they did with Roddy Piper, right?
Oh, yeah. That was a questionably gay match, but yeah.
That was Goldust. Like Goldust was really he had a good run, man. We didn't let him be, but he's really kind of held victim of this whole PG era. You can't really do much, so it's unfortunate.
It is.
But another big announcement coming off of Raw was we saw Matt Hardy challenge Bray Wyatt to a match at the Hardy compound at WrestleMania.
Is that what it was? It an official requested match at WrestleMania? Was that what it was?
Well, when else is it going to be? But yeah,
I know that.
I think it will be.
Yeah.
And for me, this kind of spells out the return of Brother Nero. So more than likely, you're going to see that happen at some point. But very excited and more excited for this match, I guess, because before it was like, again, WrestleMania, oh my god, this is going to be boring. But now at least you're putting it in the compound. It could be exciting, and we'll see. But I did see Rebby Hardy, Matt Hardy's wife, on social media. She's very opinionated, a bit catty, very strong, independent woman. I can respect that. But she made everybody well aware that it was her that filmed that segment. I think she went on, she's like, I filmed this! So she get all the attention. But I wouldn't say it to her face because she'd share me a new one. So.
Yeah.
She's nasty. She can be nasty on social media.
It seems that it was footage from TNA. Like, it was the same footage they used during TNA. Yeah.
So maybe
people
she
were
did
saying
it back then. Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah,
Anyway.
people were saying that it was the first time WWE has used footage like from other than WCW there or ECW.
Are they allowed to?
I don't know. Apparently Matt Hardy owns it, so... And
if he owned it, it would not be called Woken Matt Hardy. It would be called Broken Matt Hardy.
No, I know. That's why I think it's going to eventually be broken. They jumped the gun on the Woken. From what I heard, and
his hip is already broken.
Yeah. From what I heard, though, is that TNA is changing the way they do business, where they're letting everybody who comes to their promotion own their own characters. it's like a way to draw people to them.
I'm pretty sure McMahon does not let people own their own name and own rights. And stuff
I
like
didn't
that.
say McMahon. I said TNA. That's what TNA is doing now. They're letting everybody who comes and who builds a character there either, like, you know, they own it. TNA is not going to own it anymore. So that's exciting. I heard that on Super Kicking It with Kelsey.
Super Kicking It with Kelsey.
Yeah. I'm excited for the Hardy compound. I hope it's nothing like that match between Bray Wyatt and
New Day?
Randy Orton, though, because that was
Oh,
friggin'
that
horrible.
one. I thought you meant like the they did something similar at the Wyatt like compound or something where it was like the Wyatts versus New Day back in the day.
That was pretty bad, too.
interesting. Yeah, it was. It was not. It
Yeah,
was,
it was pretty bad.
Yeah, it wasn't too great. So we'll see.
I wonder if we're going to see, what's her name, Rebby or Ruby? Hardy?
Reby Hardy.
And his son as well. I wonder if they're going to have any involvement.
Yeah, we'll see. Yeah, adds a little bit more excitement to that match. Wasn't too enthusiastic to watch it yet again, but at least it is something fresh, something new.
Yeah.
And I'm interested to see how they film it, so at least that makes that match a little bit more exciting. One thing that I wasn't too excited for this week was the Mizzies. Now, I know they do this every year, and I'm like, really? I thought they did this like 4 months ago. Or, I don't know, I guess it's really 1 year right now.
It seemed like it was not too long ago.
Yeah, and it's always the same thing. He gives out awards bashing somebody, then he gives himself an award, and the music, the cheesiness, I get it, it's PG, but it doesn't do it for me. But we did find out that the IC title will be defended in a triple threat match with Seth Rollins, Finn Balor taking on the champion, The Miz. So, I know we had talked about potentially having Braun Strowman and Elias in that match. I don't know what's going to happen moving forward, but right now we're looking that Braun Strowman doesn't necessarily have a match at WrestleMania. Does this mean he wins the Andre the Giant Battle Memorial? Will he be put into a match, him and Elias? Like, what's going on? Because right now he's stuck with Elias in this feud, and they're beating the crap out of each other with musical instruments. Now, I'm all for that. Every week it must be fun for Braun Strowman to come in and see, hey, you're going to crush this person with this, a building, a wall, scaffolding, a grand piano, and it's awesome. They're really milking that giant bass. He's used it twice now. But at some point, I want to know what's happening with Braun Strowman at WrestleMania.
I would guess he's going to be fighting Elias, and I think that everybody's going to be okay with that.
Really?
In
Like,
a
we
grudge
know he's going
match.
to win. It just seems like a waste of a match. What's it for?
I think Elias, we still got weeks, right? So I think Elias is going to get him back. I think there's going to be like back and forth going.
If we're seeing a singles match between Braun Strowman and Elias at WrestleMania, that's a waste for me, to be honest
I'm
with
okay
you.
with it. I'm okay with it.
You really believe Elias stands a chance? Nobody does. So it's going to be Braun Strowman going out there squashing somebody. It's over, and that's it. Every match should be noteworthy, should be more memorable, and I just feel like this could be a match on Raw.
I think 90% of WrestleMania could be on Raw. At least the
I
storyline.
don't know. The Intercontinental title match can be really exciting, I think. It's going to be good.
I would rather see Seth Rollins versus Finn Balor one-on-one for that IC championship.
For sure.
The Miz is not great in the ring.
He's
great out of
definitely,
the ring.
he's the weak link in the match, that's for sure.
But I'm okay. I'm okay with seeing Braun Lesnar. I mean, as long as it's some sort of stipulation grudge match, I think it could be okay. And it all depends on the lead up into it. Because, I mean, these two have been going at it for a while now. I'd rather Braun Strowman versus Elias one-on-one in some sort of grudge match than them both come into the IC title picture and be a fatal five-way. I am not a fan of anything more than three wrestlers. It's boring. Like,
even like an Elimination Chamber or Royal Rumble?
Elimination Chamber is different. Royal Rumble is different. I'm saying when it's like, even if it was 5 people in an elimination style match, I'm in. If it's
They should
first
do
guy to get
more
the pin-
elimination style matches like that.
I agree.
Remember we used to play the video games and it would always be like, okay, 5, 6 superstars, elimination.
Yeah, it was great.
Yeah.
What I don't like is people get punched or suplexed or like a regular DDT and they're out for 10, 12 minutes outside the ring laying down, and then all of a sudden they're back up and they hit 3 or 4 finishers and then they're all down again. If they choreographed it better and actually had better spots that included the 5 wrestlers, I'd be all down for it. And I've seen them do that in other promotions, but WWE doesn't do it well. It's literally an excuse to get guys in the ring and on the card, and they spend most of their time laying outside.
Well, that's it. I find that's the lazy thing about it is, like, instead of having great quality matches where people sit out, then they throw everybody into matches. Under the Giant Battle Memorial, they're going to be putting everybody into that match who doesn't have a match. So
I'd rather that than a Fatal 5, though.
Yeah, I guess at least that's
At least
something.
they're all in the ring doing something, you know what I mean? But I just, like, even this past week on SmackDown, like, AJ Styles, he kept breaking up the pin and then rolling back out and laying down. Breaking up the pin, then rolling back down and again, laying down. Like, he literally got picked up by Baron Corbin to the other side of the ring, thrown out through the second rope, lays down. Then there was a pin, he would come back in, do the same thing. Dolph Ziggler picked him up, brought him to the other side of the ring, threw him out. It's just like a little bit more effort. If you're gonna do matches like that, make it worth it. I don't want to see 5 guys in a match where it's only 2-on-2 the entire time with everybody else laying.
I know, yeah. There's a lot of old recipes I feel like they need to break, you know? Like, I don't know, like when I'm watching a match and it's like Dolph Ziggler hits the Faymaster and he pins the guy, 1, 2, kick out, and Dolph Ziggler's like, dog, what? Oh, well, come on, ref. It's like, have you ever pinned anybody with this move?
I know.
Not since the days of Billy Gunn, I'm sorry.
Link them together. Faymaster, pick him up, suplex him, pick him up, do another move, then try a pin.
Yeah,
Something like that.
Either stop pinning after certain moves or have people lose after certain moves so it makes it more predictable. I'm down for making it more predictable, but, whatever.
Yeah.
That's where I'm at right now. Whatever. A big whatever.
Whatever, man.
So, this Sunday is going to be Fastlane. It's our last pay-per-view. Heading into the biggest, grandest stage of them all, WrestleMania. We're going to see lots of good matchups that mean nothing.
That mean absolutely nothing.
Well, it really depends. I mean, if they try to take a swerve on us and, maybe change some titles and change some stuff, but more or less, it's just, something nice in between now and WrestleMania. It'll shorten the time between WrestleMania. I am actually still looking forward to regardless. I like Sundays. It gives it a nice feel in this pay-per-views. Good way to wrap up your weekend. And, the card looks pretty decent. We do have Bobby Roode versus Randy Orton. That's going to be the snoozer of the card.
2 thumbs down.
For those of you who watched SmackDown this week, for some reason they threw Jinder Mahal another bone this week. He picked up the win of Randy Orton. It seems like that's Randy Orton's curse. He cannot beat Jinder Mahal for some reason.
Can't beat Jinder, yeah.
He cannot beat Jinder. So I don't know what that means for Jinder. If he's going to be, put in the U.S. Maybe he'll be put in the U.S. title championship picture for WrestleMania. They're obviously going to find something for him to do, or they might not. Who knows?
30-man battle royal.
Yeah, I guess. But yeah, that seems to be the more snoozing match on the card. But again, we also have the 6-pack challenge for the WWE Championship. We have the Usos versus New Day, and we have Charlotte Flair versus Ruby Riott, and we have Becky Lynch, Naomi versus Natalya Carmella. That was announced this week as well. And this Sunday, if you didn't know, folks, it won't be Rusev Day. No. No, it will not be Rusev Day. For those who listen to SmackDown this week instead, it will be Nakamura Day. That was the highlight of the week for me. Highlight of the week for me right there.
That and the Haluva kick.
Oh, yeah, the kick was great. Yeah.
Made SmackDown bearable, but yeah, that was a great promo in the back between the two of them.
And I have to say, the kick with the hell of a kick was like, Zayn's just kind of bringing this along every week. He's going to help Kevin Owens win. His time will come, but now it's about Kevin Owens. And then he pulls off this at the end of SmackDown right before pay-per-view. It's great because Kevin Owens has no time to rebuttal. You don't know what's going to happen. It leaves a lot of question marks going into a pay-per-view. And for me, that's exciting. And I know throwing the match between Nakamura and Rusev together, you were showing some concern because, A, Rusev is so over with the crowd, it's going to hurt Nakamura if Nakamura wins. And if Rusev beats Nakamura, it'll hurt Nakamura because people like Nakamura. There's all kinds of ifs and buts about this match.
It can hurt both of them. I can't see how it's going to help either of them. That's just my argument.
I guess it was a case of neither of them being booked, and they also want to make Nakamura look strong. I mean, in my opinion, there's no chance Rusev's going to win this match. It's a no-brainer.
No-brainer. But
no-brainer.
Creative needs to take Rusev and make him a face on SmackDown. It's as simple as that. He's extremely over.
And he's talented and he's funny, and you have to make more use of it. I just don't know if they're kind of holding, his social media habits, or they're still doghousing him over blowing that whole. He was unstoppable until he announced his engagement with Lana, and then after that he's kind of been doghoused for the past year or so. So
yeah, I mean he's extremely over, man. I mean Ring of Honor, Manhattan Mayhem, there was Rusev Day chance.
I
this
heard that. I
past
saw the
Saturday.
videos, and it was rather impressive. So
I mean, that is some fucking over business, baby. Over business. For sure, for sure. So I guess that wraps up another week here at Talkamania. So thanks for joining us. Follow us on Twitter @_Talkamania. Like Des mentioned, we're back on YouTube. Check us out. Hit the subscribe button. We're on Podbean. We're on iTunes. We're on Google Play Music. We are literally everywhere you can hear a podcast. Follow our buddy Justin Roberge. At Justin S. Roberge. I want to give another shout out to a podcast buddy of mine. She Hates Wrestling. Check him out. It's a couple from Ireland. It's pretty funny. The premise behind the podcast is really original. Take a listen. Apart from that, we'll be back later in the week with our prediction show, running into Fastlane, last pay-per-view before WrestleMania. Until then, J-Bomb's out. Say bye, Des.
Happy Nakamura Day.